What is the spiritual meaning of loneliness? Are you somebody that is lonely? Are you somebody that wonders if something's wrong with you? Are you somebody who's really seeking to understand the deeper dive into loneliness? Well, it's a personal topic for me because it's something I struggled with for majority of my life. So this session right here, I'm going to break on down the spiritual meaning of loneliness and how to listen to the divine signs of your emotions. Hi there, and welcome to the Dr. Erin Show. This is a podcast that is focusing on spiritual awakening and really diving deep into universal law, metaphysics, and enlightenment. I'm the creator of E4 Quantum Healing and Quantum Manifesting Method, and I have worked and trained with people globally around the world. And I'm here basically to help you discover the truth of who you are. So let's dive into this poignant question, which is, what is the spiritual meaning of feeling lonely? So I just want to say that this is something that has been a challenge for me my entire life. And I remember years and years ago, really diving into my trauma work and discovering that I had a limited belief. And it was actually a command, which was, I'm alone. And so no matter what happened, no matter if I had people all around me, no matter if I was in a relationship, no matter if I was making money, not making money, no matter what was going on in my life, I always had this inner feeling of feeling lonely, like I didn't belong here on this planet. I felt like isolated. I felt like no one understood me. I felt like something was wrong with me. And so I'm going to dive into some distinctions for you to understand the spiritual meaning of loneliness. So you may be asking, why do I feel so lonely? What do I do about it? What's really going on? So I actually want to dive into it because it's going to mean something different for everyone. However, there is a theme, a very specific theme that happens for everyone. Okay. Number one is we want to dive deep into what is it with your trauma and limited belief and limited identity that is having you experience that and how to really overcome that versus what is actually the universe working for you for your loneliness. Your loneliness, as we know, can be a great blessing. Everything, if you truly believe and understand how life works, it's working for you. It's a masterclass for you, always working for you. Okay, so I just want to say a personal story that just happened and why I'm talking about this today. So if you've been watching my journey at all lately, I have been doing a very intensive spiritual practice. I've been waking up at 3 a.m. and doing meditation and breath work and kriyas and all kinds of work for 6 hours a day, maybe 5 by the time I, do other things. But it's been amazing. And the reason why I chose to do this was because I've gone in and out of my meditation practice over the last 28 years. And one thing I've definitely found is the more powerful my spiritual practice is, the more powerful my life is. There's an equal total relationship to the two. So in this also, there's a lot of channeling messages that come through. So I thought I'd do a series on kind of answering some questions and also giving you the channeled messages from source. So we want to recognize that spirituality is the reality that everything comes from first cause, which is source, which is spirit, which is the true essence of who you are. And all of life is the outpicturing of that, the good, the bad, the ugly, the heaven and hell, all that. So we want to dive deep into the spiritual meaning of loneliness, because if you're experiencing loneliness, one, it can be just a perception, or two, it can be a reality. You're actually really isolated. And so regardless of whether you are around people, not around people, the perception is what we are dealing with first and foremost here. So the reason why I want to talk about this is because the other day I was in deep, deep trance prayer. You can call it hypnotherapy. You can call it prayer with God. You can call it meditation. You can call it whatever you want to call it. There is no name for the nameless of merging in the yoga with the higher self. But when I'm in this state, I always first just listen. I allow to do all the deep, deep work. And at some point in time, it indicates for me to begin to ask questions. So I wanted to read to you one of the questions that I asked Source. And I said, Source, didn't say it quite like that, but where can I find a tribe that I align with and where I can grow exponentially? I'm going to back this question up with is I have a lot of community across the globe. I have thousands of clients and I have people I see every day. I have very close friends and I'm at peace with my family as well. So I'm not exactly what anyone would think is lonely. If you took a look at my life, you would not think that I'm lonely. However, I still feel a level of loneliness at times because I have a hard time connecting at some level with, the average person out there, or even the extraordinary person at some level. Okay. So this was the answer. You are not here to learn from a tribe in this lifetime. You are here to connect directly with divine and the masters of light. We keep trying to isolate you to bring you within, but you keep thinking there's something wrong with you and feeling lonely. Listen to the divine message of emotion. And this is so true. Okay. So I always say that the only disease we have is amnesia, because of course I asked for prayers and meditated on feeling lonely years ago and realized that actually it was a limited belief I had that something was wrong with me, and that the perception of being lonely. And of course, going through the deep journey of 28 years of seeking truth and doing all the inner trauma work, you delayer all the concepts that you are isolated, because the real source of this disease of loneliness is one thing and one thing only, and it is not feeling connected to God's source within. Okay, I'm going to say source just because there's a lot of people who have a weird concept of what God is. God is not an outside source from my perception. It's source, the true I am that you are inside. So this was, obviously a command and a limit to a belief. So the spiritual meaning around that for me at that point in time was that I believed I was separated. I believed I was divided. Okay, so the spiritual meaning of loneliness is the belief that you are separate from divine, that you are separate from source, that you are separate from others. It is a dis-ease. It is really, that's why we say, as a doctor of divinity, we heal through revealing truth. So the spiritual meaning of feeling lonely is actually that you feel like you are divided. So it is an emotion bringing you home. It's an emotion to bring you to live in your truth. And that is really only way to get there, which is to go within and seek to merge with divine source within, because you can go out and meet all the people you want in the world, but you're still going to feel lonely. If you perceive yourself as lonely and divided, you're going to always feel divided out there. A lot of people will end up drinking alcohol and doing drugs to feel connected, because it like takes the veil and the Maya off, and it really makes people feel like they are connected. But then as soon as the alcohol goes out of their system, the drugs go out of their system, they plop back into their reality, into their limited beliefs, and they feel more divided than ever and feel more sad and sometimes depressed. So the spiritual meaning of loneliness it's an indicator that you are not merging fully with the divine. Having said that, when somebody does do their trauma work, they release those limited beliefs, they go into prayer, meditation, they merge with, spirit, they may obviously feel very much more connected spiritually, but they may still go out there in the world and not feel as connected with people as other people would feel connected. So here is what was a remembrance for me, and what spirit reminded me that I have been told over many decades, again and again. Hear this a lot with great spiritual teachers, good spiritual teachers and spiritual coaches. They will not say, "Hey, I'm your guru," or "I have all of the wisdom. I can transform your life. I can heal you." No, the spiritual teacher does not do that. The spiritual leader does not do that. The wise spiritual teacher and the wise spiritual leader will say, "Let me help guide you to the true and only teacher, which is truth within." The true guru is within. So there is no guru on this planet that's going to solve your problems. There is no spiritual teacher that can solve your problems. They can guide you. So oftentimes I'll say, when we're doing trauma work, it's almost like the seed of creation, the soil of creation. Okay, imagine there's this dirt, and imagine that my client wants to put the seed of not feeling lonely in to the seed of creation. And all I'm doing as a spiritual teacher is I'm helping them pick out the weeds of limitation of their traumas and everything else, to clear out the soil as pure as possible, so that when they come to the beloved divine in their prayer and meditation, they're able to actually communicate and birth and manifest that life that is connected. So spiritual teachers don't do that. They help you do the work. They help you birth your own truth. They help you come to the guru within. They help you learn how to meditate and learn how to pray and learn how to vision and learn how to manifest. But ultimately, you're doing the work with the true guru, with the true teacher, which is the source within, which is divine, which is God's source within, which is true love, which is field, whatever you want to call it from a scientific, religion, philosophical perspective. The truth is there is the nameless. It's the nameless. So the spiritual meaning of feeling lonely is that you are divided from source, that you are divided from source. Okay. So the human experience often suffers from loneliness. We suffer greatly. And we keep thinking that, well, if I just find, a career or make more money, or if I just find that good relationship, or if I just move to the right city. But as the saying goes, everywhere you go, there you are. So we keep looking for all of that. But the truth is, we're looking outside when the answer is inside of us. The answer is inside. Okay. So it's always a catalyst for growth. We understand that our pain turns into our purpose. Our pain is the guru. Okay. The emotions are beautiful divine messages, and they're actually a guidance to bring us back within and to transmute those emotions to birth our truth, to birth our relative truth and the ultimate truth. Okay. So loneliness is a call for awakening. Loneliness is a call for awakening. And I wanted to say that there's a pitfall with some of the things with law of attraction. And I teach universal law. I have a universal law deck of cards that are deal with the one universal law and 52 distinctions. But there's a pitfall when it comes to loneliness, because oftentimes universal law will think, well, we just need to have a better vibration or be more positive, and therefore then we'll find our tribe. Something's wrong with us. We're just not being positive. Well, some of us are not really meant to thrive in tribe. We are social beings as humans, and we recognize that even through, say, the really big study at Harvard that looked at people who were fulfilled and happy over time, and it was the quality of their relationships that determined over time. However, you could have three good friends and have deep, deep quality of relationship and have a ton of acquaintances. I mean, or someone could be in a ton of acquaintances and not have any intimate relationships and be sad and lonely, right? So it's relative for what that is, a relationship. And the ultimate relationship is within. The ultimate relationship is with thyself. And all other relationships are the projection and the reflection of your ability or inability to love. So the paradox, it takes going and isolating yourself. I remember this years ago, being lonely, and I would resist being alone so much. And finally, I remember taking like a whole year where I pretty much was doing no social things. What I would like not see people for 2 weeks at a time. And I would just go deep into 5 hours of meditation. This was 15, 20 years ago. And I remember I would just go so deep in it. And I remember I broke through a wall. I broke through a wall where it's like, wow, I really enjoy being alone. Now I can go and eat alone now if I want. I have tons of girlfriends as well, but sometimes I just want to be alone. I want to date myself. It's a beautiful thing. And so the clear message for me is that I am here with a very specific agreement to have direct contact with source. And there's certain people that learn a lot from other people in this lifetime. There's a lot of people that will learn, and they're mediums or psychics. There's people that directly contact the divine. You can call it a channel, you can call it an oracle, you can call it whatever it is. There's different things in our astrology, galactic work that we have, and that is part of my chart. And I'm a direct contact. So I channel, I oracle, I've done work for about 28 years doing this work. So for me, I have to remember that when I go out and I am around a bunch of people, even healed, I don't feel sometimes like I want to be there, because I'm so in love with the divine. I'm so in love with the beloved that my sacred, intimate time is with source. So I it's not as intimate when I'm out with other human beings as it is when I am with God's source within. So there's always like a level of lack of intimacy, even with my dearest best friends. I have very, very close friends. But so the message for me clearly in that divine message is to remember that I'm not here necessarily to have my primary area of thriving with tribe. There's lots of tribes. I have lots of tribes. But to think that I'm going to find one tribe that's going to maybe be as intimate as divine is not exactly my path. I'm here to work with the masters. I have deep masters, all kinds of light masters that come in through my channeling and through my deep work. And it's almost like they're my BFFs. They're my real tribe. And so no matter where you are, I want you to know that you're okay exactly as you are, that you've got to trust at some level that the isolation or the loneliness or feeling disconnected at some level, yes, you need to do your deep work, but at the same time, you have to remember that you have special gifts. Every person has special spiritual gifts. May you listen to that. May you honor that, and know that you're not here to just fit into the puzzle like everybody else. There's a very specific way that you're going to fit into the puzzle of the construct of the culture. And some people fit in more with other cultures than our culture, right? So you have to really honor wherever you're at. And so I just want to interject that. Again, remembering that the message, sometimes we're not supposed to thrive in tribe as our primary way of thriving. Sometimes it's with the beloved, sometimes it's in ethereal realms, sometimes it's with angels, sometimes it's with guides, sometimes it's with, butterflies and rainbows out in the forest. Sometimes it's just with your career. Maybe you love your career so much that you just dive so deeply into it and then you isolate because of that. But the truth is that we're born alone and we die alone. And there's only one consciousness. And so let's just do a spiritual mind treatment, taking a deep breath in. Carl Jung said, loneliness does not come from having no people around, but from being unable to communicate the things that seem important to you. So we have to remember the truth that the ultimate communication is to commune with spirit, to commune with spirit within. That is the ultimate communication. And so in this, I just invite you to embrace your loneliness, taking a deep breath in and coming to that divine sacred space within and finding the peace and the wholeness within. And I know that wherever you are, if you are dealing with loneliness, that yes, seek help, seek community, seek teachers that can help begin your deep work. But the truth is that you have a best friend inside. It is source. It is the true self. And I promise you, when you go within and you go into the silence, you will find a beloved divine. And so in this, I just say thank you, thank you, thank you. You can subscribe here. You can share the podcast, share out this video if you're across platforms. And the Dr. Erin Show is across all platforms. Get your daily spiritual practice with me, get free gifts, and just know I am super honored and excited to be on this divine journey with you. Have a beautiful, blessed day. May you live your truth.